Got
Well,
it.
hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com where music comes to life. And today is another episode of my favorite Christmas songs. But my guest today, he's returning to the site. We last spoke in June when he put out his record, American Rocker.
Mhm.
Probably know him best as the original bassist for the legendary Blue Oyster Cult. But today we are here to talk about something a little different, his favorite Christmas songs. Welcome back,
Yeah,
Joe Bouchard. Welcome, Joe.
great to be back.
Now, before we get into your Christmas list, let's talk a little bit about American Rocker. You got some really great reviews on the
Mhm.
record. You had a chance to go out and play live throughout the year.
Yes,
How's
yes.
this album cycle gone for you?
Great. I mean, you always wish it could do more,
Mhm.
but I'm just thrilled at the response. I've played live. I played several songs from the album, and they seem to get a great reaction right out of the box. So
Mhm.
that's a good sign. Even the Rolling Stones has trouble selling new songs. Everybody wants to hear, Satisfaction you know, and things from their past. So,
Yeah.
but we did pretty well. We went on a tour of Scotland, England, and France
Mhm.
in August. It was a wonderful tour. It was miraculous because a lot of tours have been shut down because of the
Mhm.
pandemic, and I thought, oh, for sure, we're never going to make it. But we got
Mhm.
every show in, and the people were just fantastic, and response was wonderful. And we hadn't been there in a long time, so it was a thrill to come back and see a
Well,
lot of old friends.
well, that's great. I mean, it was a strong record. You got
Hmm.
that classic sound going, so I'm glad to see it's
Yep.
doing well for you.
Yeah.
But now let's get into why we're here. We're here to
Yes.
talk about some holiday and Christmas music. Now,
Yeah.
to start off, we'll do a little background. Now, growing
Okay.
up, was music a big part of your house
Oh,
during Christmas?
huge. And I got to tell you that I think the classic Christmas songs when I started really becoming obsessed with
Mm,
music because you'd analyze these, Silent
mm,
Night
mm,
and Deck the Halls, and
mm,
you just sort of analyze them in your mind, like, oh, so that's how songs work.
mm.
Yeah, I learned all of those, and you know. Yeah, it really kind of like it probably has to do with I grew up in upstate New York.
Mhm.
It was very cold. And after you can only do so much sledding and then you got to thaw out.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely retreat to the music room
Mhm,
and plunk out all of these songs on the piano
mm,
and then they would be harmonized. You go to the service in the church and like those songs that you were just plunking on the piano, they'd be all like glorious by that time.
mm,
Anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan of the classic Christmas songs and all of that.
so do
Taught me a
you
lot.
do you kind of always default to kind of those early versions, even back to like the Sinatra versions and the Bing
Mm.
Crosby, those kinds of
Oh
things?
yeah, yeah. Johnny
Yep.
Mathis. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Well, it's funny
All
you
of
mentioned
those.
that
Oh
one.
my God, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because growing up, the two really vivid memories I have of, putting the tree up every year were the Beach Boys Christmas album and
I
Johnny
was
Mathis.
next
Those
on
were the
my
2.
list.
Yeah.
Next on my list. I
Yeah.
was obsessed with the Beach Boys
Yeah.
Christmas album.
I still am.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it is still
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, uh, yeah, I that got played over and over again,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, there was something magical about it. You know, it was it's half Brian
Yeah.
Wilson and then the other half is traditional.
Mhm.
But he got the arranger from the Four Freshmen that
Mhm.
he learned all his harmonies from. So he got this guy Dick Reynolds to do the other half of the album, which are really cool because it's jazzy
Mhm.
Four Freshmen type harmonies that Brian, became obsessed with, and that's how he, ended up doing the genius stuff that he does.
Well, it was great a couple of years back. I was able to bring my whole family. Brian toured the Beach Boys Christmas album
Oh,
where he played the
yeah.
entire, I mean, it's only
Uh,
what, 35 minutes long,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it was just,
I
it,
missed that one.
oh, it was
I go to
amazing. It
all of
was
these
so
ones, but
good.
I missed that one for some reason. Yeah.
And now you have also recorded your Christmas song. Now, is this your first song that you just put out? Your first Christmas track?
I put out a Christmas track, a cover
Mhm.
of Run, Run,
Yeah.
Rudolph, about 2 years ago. A guy from England, he does an advent calendar, and all of these people put in some music. So we uh, decided, my partner and I, Joan Levy Hepburn, and I put together Run Run Rudolph for this English website, and it was great. And then I had this song. I didn't write this song. My friend, one of my longest friends that I've ever had, he sadly passed away, but he wrote this great song called "Christmas Beer." And I had played it at a couple of open mics,
Mhm.
and people said, "Wow, that's a great song."
Mhm.
So anyway, this year we decided to record a new version of "There'll Be No Tears
Mhm.
in the Christmas Beer," and I think it came out great. I posted it up on YouTube, and some of your friends can hear it too if they click on
Oh, definitely.
the thing. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun putting it together.
And again, that kind of brings up always the age-old thing when it comes to Christmas songs is you have the people that actually write the original stuff and put out something like this, and then you have others that, kind of do different arrangements of some of the
Yeah,
classics.
yeah,
I always love when somebody writes something new and, adds to it. Do you have a
yeah.
preference when you're listening? Do you want to hear something new or do you like to go back to the old?
Whatever works.
Mhm.
There's so much available
Mm,
that I haven't really listened to a lot of Christmas music.
mm,
I'm out shopping, and
mm.
everybody's kind of like humming along. We're going through the aisles with the shopping cart.
Mhm.
Um, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's funny because
I
back
never
in
get tired. I never get tired of Little Saint Nick.
there you go. Yeah, and back in the Blue Oyster Cult days,
Mhm.
around that time, a lot of rock bands were really jumping on the Christmas thing. I think it started with Paul McCartney, then Elton John had his, and Billy
Mhm.
Squier had
Mhm.
his. And then as you got into the 80s, you had the Eagles and John Bon Jovi, and everybody was doing a Christmas song. Was it ever something you guys thought about doing back then?
No. Although there is a Christmas song on Imaginos.
Mhm,
It's called "The Girl That Love Made Blind," and then the outro chorus is the Christmas,
mhm,
Christmas. I
mhm.
just performed it with Albert
Yeah,
and his Imaginos band.
mhm.
It's part of the original Imaginos, where there is a whole chorus of Christmassy stuff, and Albert, it's a waltz.
Yeah.
It's like a waltz too. So yeah, we did a little bit of that, but I don't think we ever thought of doing a Christmas thing. I know Leonard Skinner did one,
Yeah. Charlie
and
Daniels had them,
well, of
at that
course,
time,
of
like
course,
all those classic rock bands,
yeah.
that was the thing.
I don't know. I don't know. We would always get Christmas off,
Mm,
but the day after Christmas, we'd be flying to Los Angeles. We do a whole string of dates on the Christmas week.
mhm,
Um, I don't know.
mhm,
The problem with the Christmas music, it has a short shelf life.
mhm.
Come December 26th, you don't want to hear any more.
Well, you're recording
That's
it when it's 90 degrees in the middle of
right. Yeah,
July
you
as
have to
it's,
start
1
early
month.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would never start early enough to do a Christmas album.
Mm.
I don't
And
think it was our thing. Uh,
so it comes
more my
down to
thing now, I guess.
Yeah. You got your stack of vinyl, you get to pick the one Christmas record to put on to listen to. What are you doing?
I'm doing the Beach Boys Christmas
Mhm.
album. Um, yeah, I would. That's one of my favorites.
Mm. Were
We
you
Three
a fan
Kings.
of the Phil Spector record?
A little bit,
Mhm.
but more Beach
Yeah.
Boys. More, I love the sort of uh, craft that uh, Brian still has, for assembling voices, mostly male. Occasionally there would be a
Mhm.
female voice in there, but mostly male voices, all singing in harmony. It really hits the heart. At least for me. Um,
It
yeah.
like I said, for me, that was my first exposure to the Beach Boys, was just listening to the Christmas album as a kid. My parents had popped the cassette in and we were putting the
Yeah.
tree up.
Yeah.
And from there, I'm like, wow, these guys did other stuff. They weren't just a Christmas band. But hearing that, like you said, that music and those arrangements, it just changes the entire game the way
Yeah.
Brian did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember back in the 80s,
Mm,
late 80s, I guess it was. I did some Christmas songs with Neil Smith and
mm,
Dennis Dunaway from
mm.
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah. And we so we did 3 Christmas songs, recorded them. They weren't, I mean, they were okay, but there was something lacking, I guess.
Mm.
Maybe it was all should have had the Beach Boys singing
There you
on it.
go.
So we took it into Columbia Records. We're sitting in Don DeVito's office. Don was a product manager, but he also was like a producer of Blood on the Tracks
Yeah.
for Dylan. So Don was a heavyweight, and he's a really good friend of mine. So I brought our stuff in and I'm saying, "What do you think, Don? You gonna give us a deal?" And he says, "Well, I don't know. Here, I just got this Paul McCartney record." And he put it on. We'd never heard it. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. And we said, "That's the lamest thing I've ever heard."
Yeah, kind of
So
is.
they
Yeah.
got the full McCartney got the full push
Yeah.
from CBS at that time, and we got Bupkis. But anyway, that's okay. We learn. You learn. You
Yeah.
learn from all those kind of experiences.
So
You know,
now going forward as we get into the new year, you have any plans for 2023? Will we see you on the road?
possibly,
Mhm.
possibly. I'm talking to a few different places. Um, I have a couple of charity gigs that are coming up in Connecticut.
Oh, great.
One in March
Mhm.
in Bridgeport, and one in Fairfield in May.
Mhm.
And I'll be putting the word out on those when I know more about it. Um,
Definitely.
and also, I got asked to do this another Pink Floyd album. I
Mhm.
did a special guest
Mhm.
on a record that was tribute to animals,
Mhm.
the Pink Floyd Animals album, and all these great people on it. So I got to play on this one called Pigs Three.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you know it.
Yeah.
Pigs, three different versions,
Mhm.
and it's actually two bass parts, and I had to like create all the two. But the best thing about it was the people that also were on it was a singer from um, prog rock group. I'm losing my mind. Uh, but drums was Billy Cobham, who's
Oh,
a
wow.
tremendous
Mhm.
drummer, and I've known him since the Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Mhm.
And I actually play with his brother every once in a while,
Mhm.
Wayne Cobham, and the keyboard player, yeah, from Yes,
Mhm.
um, yeah, the
Rick
keyboard,
Wakeman? Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
not Rick Wakeman. Um,
Tony
what's his name?
Kaye?
No, no, not the guy. It'll come to me. But the real kicker for the whole thing was the guitar player was Al Di Meola.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and uh, I don't know how the record sold.
Mhm.
I did my work here at home. I wish we were all in the
Yeah.
same room. that would have been amazing. But this was in the pandemic, and so we all were all working at home, and Al just played the best solo, and it doesn't sound like it sounds like Pink Floyd, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like Gilmore,
Yeah.
David Gilmour, and he can do his own thing, and he's a genius.
Al's amazing.
So I can't believe that I'm on a record with Al Di Meola and Billy Cobham and the other guys. So they want me to do another one. It won't be Al Di Meola. It'll be some other guys,
Mhm.
but and that'll be coming out probably end of the year or early next year. End of next
Yeah,
year.
right.
And I was excited about that. And then I'm working on another thing for a band that I used to be in.
I wonder who that
I
could
can't
be.
say anything
Yeah,
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that band that I used to be in.
Yeah.
And so that may be out next year sometime.
Nice. Really
Kind of
look forward to it.
fun and exciting, and I'm working on trying to figure out what I should do next. I think I'm going to do a different kind of album, but with maybe more of a ballad look. But that still remains to be seen. Just got a new computer, and it's a killer. It's my old computer used to just stutter, and so I just went for it, and I'm excited about starting another project. Should
Well,
work.
we've been spending some time here with the legendary Joe Bouchard. Joe, just thank you so much for doing this.
Hey,
Have a great holiday season and New
you too.
Year.
You too.
Hopefully we'll catch you on the road soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Happy holidays.